Hi, I'm Rusty Dog and welcome to the world of Microsoft Flight Simulator. And I'm going to be going on another flight in the fly-by-wire A32NX, the Airbus A320neo, because I've learned a few more things since the last time, such as how to read the weather report on the little printouts, and also more about localizers and glide slopes and things like that. All nice things. So I don't know if I can apply all of that knowledge in this flight. I will try, because learning about something is half the battle. Remembering it and putting it into practice is the other half. That's the half I tend to fall down on a little bit. Okay, let's get underway then, because it's getting dark. So let's feed in our departure airport, which we know to be Gatwick. And we will be taking off from runway 26 left as far as I'm aware. So let's have a little bit of a zoomy in, and let's go to here and zoom to details. Why? Because I want to pick a decent parking area. So runway 26 left is there. Ooh, look, got a little parking there just for one plane. But I'm going to be feeding many passengers. So let's pick, now what's going on here? Gotta be this one then, right? Well, let's set gate 1, 2, 3 as the departure. Why not? We don't have so far to taxi then. Yeah. So gate medium, there we go. All right, so let's get that underway. In the meantime, let's file the flight plan. As soon as my simulator starts making a noise and stuff, we'll leave it. It should go away very quickly. Okay, so we're going to be flying Eurowings, which I think is a German airline. I might be wrong, but it has got a German flag on it, so kind of makes sense, seeing as how we're flying to Germany. So we're going to go with Eurowings, EW, and flight number is going to be a real flight number, but different route, 602. We're going to be departing from, as you can see, it already knows. Put it all in already, but we're going to be. Oh, you can't see that, can you? You can't see pop-ups on my screen. Okay. So we're going to be going from Gatwick, and we're going to be arriving at Frankfurt, and we're going to be going to EDDL we're not going to be going there, hopefully. Dusseldorf is the alternative airport, EDDL. And this gives us half an hour, basically, to get ourselves off the ground. Airframe then, normally I pick A320, but today I'm going to be picking a specific one, which is for this plane exactly, the A32NX. So if you go, this is available on the fly-by-wire website. Just look for Simbrief airframe. And also, you can alternatively go to their Discord, fly-by-wire's Discord, and just type in .airframe, and it should pick it up, give it to you, I think. That's how I got it. Anyway, so there's the airframe in. We have a cost index, that's what this is, cost index of 15, fuel factor of 10, blah 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 blah, departing on 26L and arriving on 25L. That's easy to remember, even though I have to write it down anyway, because it's only easy to remember for people who have got their brains intact, unlike me. So passengers, right, automatic. I'm not going to fill the plane, and I'm not going to have it on automatic. I only want 98 passengers. Cargo, now, you don't have to fill this in, because maximum, each passenger is allowed 55 pounds of baggage. Okay, that is already apparently calculated into this, into the weight. So, there's cargo here. Is literally for freight and any extra baggage that you may have. So we can leave that, and that's pretty much it. The only other thing I did was I took off NOTAMs, because that just gives you a much more detailed flight plan, which you don't need for flight sim. So I took it off, clicked save as default, and that was it. Let's generate the flight. Once it's generated, it can now be imported into the A32NX via the MCDU. So, of course, you can program the entire flight in just off the main flight simulator screen, using IFS, high altitude airways in this case, and you can literally just program in everything, you know, your departure, your approach, the whole thing. Or you can use little nav map, which will do it all for you. Simbrief, I think, does everything except the actual ILS approach. So we're going to be programming that one in. There's our route look. I don't fancy programming all that in manually. I don't feel 100% confident yet to do that. Yeah, so we'll just leave it like this. There's our alternative airport plan, which I hope we're never going to do. Okay. Now that we've got the flight plan there done and generated. Oh, also, go through here. Cost index 15 there, just confirmed. And then we've got more information, and there's our big route. And it also tells us our fuel and stuff like that, but I'm hoping it's all going to get programmed in anyway. And any numbers I don't know, I'm just going to leave it or guess. Yeah, sounds great, doesn't it? So, yeah, there's all the approach procedures. You've got to make sure that you're using the right airport, though, because I spent time looking at approach procedures for the alternative airport, which wasn't great. So, airport, Frankfurt, Main. Okay, so then we come down to approach procedures, and we're going to be wanting an ILS 25 left approach. I don't even think that's here. I couldn't find it before. We've got ILS runway 07R. We've got ILS runway 07C. ILS. We've got ILS 27R. Other one. Does this mean there is no ILS 27L? We'll have to find out when we get on the plane. I hope there is, because if there isn't, I'm going to have to change my runway, because I do want an ILS approach. Right, let's switch back then, and we'll see what we have. So this is our plane today. This is the Eurowings Boomerang Club aircraft. As you can see, it has the German flag on the back, so it kind of fits in. So let's click ready to fly, and of course it's raining, and it's raining where I am as well, so kind of ties in, even though I'm not near Gatwick. Yeah, so here's our plane, and what we'll do first is we'll call for some ground power. Okay, I've got 38 emails here from right, so let's get some power on, and I'm going to move this off the screen so you guys it doesn't interfere with you guys. Okay, so we just get the little power truck attached, and we can start the plane up. Okay, so everything okay. Yeah. So yeah, this is live weather, live time, all that stuff. All right, so batteries on then, and I'm guessing we have external power now because the little truck will be there. I mean, we had it anyway, but I brought the truck in just because. Okay, so now we have external power. I think what I'll do is start lining up the ADIRs. Even though it is a quick alignment, I've chosen the fast alignment, not the instant one, just a quick one. Isn't this? Yeah, the battery's supposed to come up. I've not seen any other person wait for the battery light to go out before the next alignment. And it is supposed to be 1, 2, 3, I'm sure. I've just seen people go click, 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 which works. It will work. You know, let's put some oxygen supply on the crew. Then we have this ground control on auto, which I don't know what it does, but I've seen somebody click it before. Oh yeah, genius. Right, so now what I want to do is just start lighting up these panels, see more of what we're doing, and also the same in the cockpit as well. Start lighting up the PFD here, and then the ND, which I think is navigation display, I would imagine. Primary flight display, navigation display. Also we want to light up the ECAM, the top one, and also we want to light up the lower ECAM. Alright. What else? Now floodlights. Let's get those on because it is getting dark. We'll put some floodlights on and panel lighting here. Yeah, I only wish I could have done this. Look, we've got some weird graphics going on there. I only wish I could have done this flight a little bit earlier, because then we wouldn't be flying at, you know, in the late or early, in the early evening. Turn that up. Also, for no particular reason, I'm just going to turn up the co-pilot's displays as well. Okay, I think we're pretty much lit up. There is another light down here, the floodlight thing. My feet. I'm going to lock the cockpit door now because I'll get it open. Will you lock, please? Will you just lock? Thank you. Okay. Woo. Okay, that's locked. So, okay, cockpit door is locked, and how do I do my? I thought it was this one, the floodlight, that lit up down here. Oh no, is it this one? Anyway, that's all done. So, what's next? I suppose we better get the passengers on board. So let's get the jetway in. Yeah, I did click it twice. I thought I did. Okay. So, next up then, let's go up to the top panel, and we're going to turn on the APU, and then we'll come down and wait for the flap to open. Shouldn't take too long, a few seconds. There it is, flap is open, so now we can start the APU. And I'm going to turn on fuel pumps. Get all the lights turned out here. With the APU on, I believe we can remove external power now. Oh, maybe I needed to do the bleed thing. Okay, that was a mess up. Okay, so seatbelts on, sign, snow smoking to auto, arming the exits. I think that's kind of it. I don't know whether doing that cancelled out the ground control thing. But I don't suppose Major Tom will be too upset. So let's start the APU again. Or is it started? Let's switch this off. Switch this on. Yeah, I kind of messed that up. Sorry, that was a stupid newbie mistake. Flap open. Well, let's start. Okay, so we're going to leave everything alone this time. Not going to put any more lights on. So if I don't put them on now, then I can forget them later, which I'm bound to do. Alright, so let's get to this thing. First thing we want to do is load up the flight plan. So let's go to ATSU, AOC menu, and we want to do init press and require data, or requisite the data, or whatever it is that you do. Okay, so this is our plan. All nice. Then we come, let's go to the next page, see what's in there. Okay. Back to AOC menu. Now I can do a weather request for where we are. EG. Okay. Passengers are not boarding yet, by the way. I'm not letting them in. And also Frankfurt, which is EDDF. Want weather update on those two right now. And we're going to click send that off. And we should get a company message popping up on here. When we do, we'll be able to print that message out. Now, weights and balances then. So, if we click refuel, it will either add fuel or take fuel out, depending. And it will do that based on how much fuel we're going to need for the flight. So currently we're sitting at 9,500 kilos of fuel on board. So let's hit refuel, see what it does. Oh wow, it's taken a bit off, 5,000 now. So we are a little bit lighter. Now, operational flight plan request send. Do that. Is that where I'm supposed to do it? To get the flight plan in? I'm sure it was. Okay. Might be here actually. Or, no, it's not. So let's start the boarding. Oh, okay, it's not doing that. Let's click send. There we go. 98 passengers. Da, 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 da. Now we can start the boarding. And we can start getting people on board. Fantastic. So far, so good. Right, we don't have a flight plan yet, so we're going to come to init. And we're going to do init request. And that should populate everything. There it is. That's our flight plan. IRS initialization on the, I think this is the ADIAs aligning. Okay, so next. I'm in the fuel, zero fuel, this is zero fuel weight and zero fuel weight center of gravity. Get that in. The planning, brilliant, it's programmed it all in. Absolutely lovely. Okay, like I said, I'm keeping things simple. I'm not going to go too crazy with all this. So next then, there's an order for this, but I forget what it is. I think it's diff, so it's data init, flight plan, fuel prediction. It's diff rip, I think, and then might be rad nav and init and performance, diff rip, something like that. So flight plan we know we have in, except for our final approach, yeah, which we know that we want. I'd like, if there, I'm hoping there's an ILS 25L. That would be nice. Yes, that's the one we want. Now transition. Now there's a couple here, maybe more. I don't know which is going to be the best one. I don't know what they look like. I have no idea which one to go with here. Now I suppose I could look on Little Nav Map and confirm, but I find sometimes that Little Nav Map and this, they don't have the same stars. The stars are different. They've got different numbers and letters, and it kind of confuses me a little bit. So you could just pick any one of these, I suppose. But I'm going to have a check on Little Nav Map and I'll get back to you guys. Okay, I've had a little look, and yeah, I'm not really working out why all the stars in Little Nav Map are all different. Like we've got this one, EMP-A2A. There's no EMPs at all. There's a couple here, and there's none of them in Little Nav Map, so it's not tying up. So I'm just going to stick one of those in and see what it looks like. So we're going to go with this one, Kera 1S. Click that. There's no transition. Oh, via. Now that's a good one. Via what? What is the choices? CHA, DF626 and MTR. I'm trying to look at what we've got. A little nav map here, but let's just insert as it is. We'll see what it looks like on the screen anyway. See if it looks any good. I hope so. So if we look at our flight plan here, we tune this to flight plan. And then I think we're going to have to zoom out a little. Oops, maybe not that much. Yeah, maybe that much actually. Alright, so let's take a look. So we're going to be taking off. Do we have a proper departure here? Let me just zoom this in. Yeah, I'm going to say that's okay. Right, so let's flick through the flight plan, see where we are. I just want to make sure, because some of these approaches are just nuts. See? You see what I mean? They're just crazy, these things. I don't trust these approaches. It doesn't. I just want to really get a really good run into the runway, give the plane time to pick up the glide slope. Go back down one. I don't want to fly for an hour, only to find out that this is all going to go pear-shaped at the end. Let's bring this right in. See, there's an error. There's always this USR here, which is, I think it is a bug. I've been told is a bug. And it always wants to keep pushing the plane straight towards the runway. And so the guy who mentioned it, that it was a bug on his video, didn't remove it from his flight plan. It's there at the top here. You can see USR. So I don't know. It's like user. I don't know what that is. So we're flying in this way, and then from there, are we going up and down and up and in? It's weird because it's okay. Well, it's an approach. Let's just go with it anyway. So some of this is just guesswork. It's me that has to sit for the hour to find out whether this is going to work or not. So let's go on to APU bleed and we'll get the engines powered up. So we're going to put the beacon lights on, and we're going to that's just to let people know that they are actually going to be there is going to be an engine start. Strobe is there. We're not going to be taxiing yet, so we're okay there. Okay, so the beacon light is on, and let's switch the engine into start mode, and we'll fire up engine 1. Oh boy. So we should start getting things. Hear it. Just going to take a little while to build some pressure, and there we have the APU bleed. That's what I assume AB is. Okay, we have a successful engine start. Let's fire up engine 1. That is a weird entry on there. I don't know what our initial altitude is going to be, so let's see if we can boot this up. We still have to pick up the weather, which we'll do that in a second. So if I go to the flight plan, oops, yep, you're right, I didn't do that. Now I've got to find out which screen it's on. I never remember. Is it straight on this one? So, what's our initial climb altitude, do we know? Sometimes I say things and I really don't know what I'm talking about, but I know that we have to climb up to a certain altitude first. Oh, see, that's me trying to scroll this thing down. I can't 100% say I know what I'm looking for. Only that I might know it when I see it. Okay, in that case, I'm just going to go from the MCDU and see what it tells us on here. So, EGKK, where we're taking off from, first is flight level 23,000. Yikes. Let's just program that in anyway. And we'll have the plane manage that once we are airborne. Right, so let's pick up the weather report, which we asked for earlier. So let's go to ATSU. I know I haven't done everything on this plane yet, but we will. Receive messages. There's the weather report, and let's print it out. So basically, then, this is the place. This is the time. Okay, so this is the 4th of October, 1450 Zulu. That's not quite right, but anyway. Well, it probably is, but I don't know what that refers to. These are your winds, so 200, heading 07 knots. So right now the wind is at 200, but it is variable between 130 and 230 degrees. See your visibility here. I find that hard to believe. 9999, that's 10,000 foot visibility in this weather. Yeah. Few clouds. I think this is few clouds at 22 degrees and scattered clouds at 32. This is your temperature right now, 16. This is the dew point, and this is your pressure, your Q, 1009. So we're going to have to put that into here. But let's just do that. 1009. We can go back to HG 2980. That's where we are right now. At Frankfurt right now, place, and this is the date and time again, 1520 Zulu, winds at 170, 8 knots, variable between 130 and 190, good visibility, few clouds at 016, temperature 15, dew point 11, and this is the pressure there, slightly different from here, and I think this just means like no significant things to worry about. That's all on this bit of paper, which we'll collect and put there. Oh, okay, thermal. It was I wondered where the print was, but yeah. Okay, so let's go into field prediction, which I think it's already filled it in. Yep. So diff rip. So R would be rad nav, I think. Now there's no frequencies there at the moment. Yeah, I happen to know the ILS frequency is 11. The ILS frequency for our approach is 111. As we're approaching on 25 left, ILS is 111.150. That's on the approach, so I'm not going to put that in yet. Okay, let's go to init. It's okay. Performance then. So I'm going to be taking off with flaps 2 today because I want to. And flaps 2, which then allows me to put in the speeds. Takeoff. Transition altitude. I'm sure that's on the Simbrief details here, but that's what I'm looking for. And I don't know where it is. I'm sure it's somewhere, but I don't know where. I don't know where the transition altitude is, guys. I'm going to leave it as default there from the Simbrief. Yeah, it's already got one, and I'm going to leave it. I have to go back and learn. See, these videos that I watch to learn stuff, I have to, you know, do this a few times. Now, to be fair, I shouldn't have powered on the engines yet. I should really be doing that when I'm getting pushback. But I just want to try and cover so many things right now. Flex to temp, I don't know, and I don't know that. This is how much. I believe this is how much elevation trim you're going to be putting on, whether it's a plus or a minus. I'm not going to put any on, so I'm just going to leave it blank. I think that might be the right thing to do. I'm good at the climb phase, cruising phase, and then we have descent phase, and then finally the approach, where we put in the Q and H of the approach. Oh, we already know that. We know it's 1018 EDDF at the moment. We can ask for another printout later on, just in case it's changed. But right now we know that the approach is 1018. So that's the one we feed in. We don't do the 2992 thing, whatever. Temperature we know is going to be 15 degrees there at the approach. So put that in. Now, this must be the heading and the wind, right? So for me, that would be 170 and 8. But I don't know if it's going to accept this, guys. I don't know. 170 slash. Do you put 8 or 08? Go with 08. I don't know if it's going to take this. Oh, okay. Transition altitude again, I don't know. And baro, I think, is the barometer pressure, which is 1018, but converted. So if we go here and we change this to 1018 there, we get 30.07. So is that what it's asking for? I don't know. I think so. If I'm wrong, well, and the next phase is the go around, which hopefully we won't have to do. So that's everything. Okay, that is literally everything. I'm done. Right, so let's get a pushback. So we're going to be taking off runway 26 left. So what I want to do is I want to literally find out which way we're going to be taxiing. So I suppose a plane landing right there right now. Where am I? I'm just looking at little nav map again to try and find out where I am. I have no idea where my plane is. I can't remember. I'm sure I put myself close. But anyway, alright. So let's bring up Gatwick ground and choose depart straight out and see if it gives us the 26 left.
Rusty Romeo 66 with golf request taxi to the active departing straight out.
Rusty Romeo 66 Gatwick ground airport is currently IFR. Request denied.
Okay, that's the bad weather. So we're going to ignore the weather this time because I had this on the last flight and it peed me off. So we're just going to do it and I'm just going to leave anyway.
Romeo 66 with golf request taxi for takeoff departing straight out.
Rusty Romeo 66 taxi to and hold short of runway 26 left via taxiway Kilo November Zulu Alpha Alpha November Mike. Contact tower on 124.2 tree when ready.
Okay.
Taxiing hold short runway 26 left using taxiway Kilo November Zulu Alpha Alpha November Mike Rusty Romeo 66.
Don't need external power. Don't need APU. Did we tell the power guy he could go? We did not. Let's do that. And also we need to clear the jetway. We're going to get pushback once everything is clear. And there's our little green arrows, which are important to me. Here we go. Let's get some pushback. Normally when you're getting pushback, that's when you start your engines, but as I said, sometimes I get the order wrong. But for this particular one flight it won't matter. You may notice the plane next to me, the blue and white one, is an Airbus A330-900. It's an airplane I already have in the sim. It's freeware and it does bring the A32NX coding in it. It's not up to date, it's not as up to date as this is, but it works well and it's a big plane. Now, where's all this conversation about lifting the aircraft and all that stuff? I don't know why it's not saying that.
EC870 for hold position, caution other traffic.
It looks like I have to do this manually, guys. I don't know why.
Hold position, EC8704.
Yeah, I'm not sure why that happened.
04, continue taxi.
And I hear that these pushback guys are going to be doing in an update. They're going to be doing an update where the whole pushback is automatic, so it literally turns your plane and gets it on the taxiway. That would be very cool. Looking forward to that when it happens. Right now I have to steer it myself. So just basically getting it pushed out onto the taxiway line, or as close as damn it. I'm trying, it's very delicate, the steering. I don't know why we didn't get the whole spiel about lifting the front of the aircraft and release your parking brakes. Strange. Okay, can you just take me forward a little? Just in case that other plane wants to take off. I don't want to get in its way. Alright, we should be good to go here. Yeah, no audio this time. Very strange. Okay, we're about to taxi, so let's turn on the taxi light there, and also that. I'll put the landing lights on. that is in the right position. I just needed to confirm that. Strobe, wing, nav and logo. So nav lights. I think that's going to be the logo light at the top. Right. We're all good to go. Yes, we are. So let's begin the taxi process then, shall we? Right.
870 for hold position, caution, other traffic. Easy 870 for continue taxi.
Did we just put the brake on? Yeah, it looks like we did. Okay.
Roger, easy 8704.
The whole thing for this flight for me is going to be the landing, and I get the feeling it's not going to go too well. Because that approach looks weird. I've got no idea if it's going to pick up any localizer or glide slope. If it can't do its own landing automatically, then I'll do it. As long as we get it down, as long as we get to the runway, and as long as we approach the runway from the right angle and everything like that, that'll be good. Autoland would be the tip of, not the tip of the iceberg. It would be the icing on the cake, what it would be. But yeah, let's see if we get that. I could put the wipers on, but they annoy me. And hopefully we'll be climbing above this weather anyway. Once we get above the clouds, everything should be nice and dandy and we don't have to worry about the rain. Yeah, it does seem to be, this plane, I don't think it's that heavy at the moment, and it does seem to be quite brisk when it's taxiing. Okay, so before we hit the runway, let's just stop here and we'll just get everything ready. So we want brakes in the max. We want a cabin check.
Flight attendants, please prepare for takeoff.
Arm the spoilers. Flaps in takeoff position, which if you remember I set it to 2. So we're going to go into position 2 and let's run a config test. Let's turn on predictive wind shear. Now I keep getting this, guys, about the slats. What do I do here? I got my speed brake armed. I've got my flaps in position 2, which is what I programmed in. I've got my water brake on maximum. So slats not in takeoff config. How do I get around that? Yeah, I don't know about this one. Okay, I'll tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to clear the message. Try it again. Yeah, okay, so whatever. So the plane is happy. And let's taxi onto the runway and then we'll get permission for takeoff. Christmas lights. Jesus, this thing's going a bit quick. Right, let's get the parking brake on if it isn't already. Right, let's get permission. request takeoff clearance VFR. No. Why would it be VFR though? Is that because they're not going to give me IFR routing along the way? Whatever. Let's do it. Come on then.
Gatwick Tower, Rusty Romeo 66 at runway 26 left, ready for departure, departing straight out.
Rusty Romeo 66 altimeter 29.80 wind 212 at 12. Traffic is generic, off final.
Altimeter 2980. Correct.
Cleared for takeoff runway 26 left.
Cleared for takeoff runway 26 left, Rusty Romeo 66.
Alright guys, let's go. Frankfurt, here we come. Looks a bit weird there. Whoa. Man, this thing feels a little bit heavy, I don't know why. The altitude is orange. Bring the gear up. We did now. Okay, I don't know what's going on with this. I'm going to balk this onto standard and see what happens. To alter this, but I don't like doing it when I can't see where I'm going. So yeah, landing lights and all that stuff, but I'm not going to bother with those until, well, I suppose I could. I should have put that light into takeoff position. I didn't. Lever going into the climb position. Attempting to anyway. There we go.
Gatwick Tower, Rusty Romeo 66 frequency change.
I don't know why it's saying leave a climb. I am there. I know it's delicate, but looks like it's not happy with the landing light position. That's fine. So what we'll do is we'll stick on autopilot if it will. And let's see if it takes over here. So, landing lights. And I think we can take the seatbelt sign off now. So, we have to keep an eye on the altitudes here in the map, I think. In the flight plan. I'm thinking of flight map, I don't know why, but yeah. And it looks like our altitude is now okay. We're above 10,000 feet, so I think when you're above 10,000 you're supposed to go to standard. Right, we have a master caution come on. Oh, anti-ice detected. So we're going to put the engine anti-ice on, so I'm going to turn the engine back into ignition, and we need to go with engine, and let's put the probe heat on, and we'll do the wings at the same time. So I think we leave the engine switch in ignition while we've got the anti-ice on. So that's done. It's going to be cold up here then. Now these flickery displays and lights is a game bug apparently, or a simulator bug. It's not a ooh, there's bad weather out there, here's some dodgy electrics effect. It's none of that. Right, here we have our climb profile actually. So top of descent, wow, so we have to climb, and then suddenly, whee! That's weird. So I think this is our 23,000, and we're going to stay there until we get to, let's zoom this in. So we're going to get to Conan, and then we're going to start ascending. And I don't know why, but we have to keep ascending and then suddenly drop. That seems a bit weird to me. I'd rather just stay at this altitude until we get to Pesov. That is a weird vertical profile. So this is top of climb, which looks to be 23,000, yep. Which is where we're going to right now. Can we zoom in a little bit further, I guess? No, that's it. Okay, that's a bit weird, but it is what it is. So now apparently when we're coming into land, which I know is a little bit in the distance yet, once we turn on our ILS, if we get the purple or pink or rose diamond across here in the middle, then we can hit the localizer. And then once we get it on the vertical, then we can hit the approach. And it should have picked up it should pick up the localizer, the glide slope, and it should have the glide slope frequency and information there. But we do need that frequency programmed in. And like I said, I happen to know it's 111.5 because of an app that I'm using on my phone, which I'll give you the name of. It's called Airport Info something. Begins with a P. Just Google Airport Info. I don't know what it's called actually. But according to this, it says navigation ILS 25L at Frankfurt, runway 25L at Frankfurt is 111.150. So that's going to be our approach ILS. So I don't know whether we can pop that in here. If we go to performance, go to next phase, cruise, and there's our approach. Now we can't put it in here. I don't think it goes in radio, does it? No. But in RadNav it would go in. So if I put it in now, which I don't think is going to be a problem, I've said it enough times, 111.150. So that is the ILS frequency for Frankfurt when we get there. Yes sirree. And that is specific for our runway 25 left. I don't know the rest of these frequencies, but we do have that in now, so hopefully it should pick up the localizer and the glide slope when the time comes. Right, so back to the flight plan. And if we scroll along, see, we are sticking at this altitude all the way through here. Is that going to be our... Is this going to be our altitude for the rest of the flight? See, this is weird. Karax. What? Please explain this to me. We've got flight level 230, and then this is 3,000. Sorry, 5,000, which we're going to be coming down to, right? Because this is our descent from here, right? Decel. So, what does 338 mean? Obviously, it's not 33,800, nor is it 3,380. What is this number? What does it mean? So, is it the... Once I think... Oh boy, why are there entries after EDDF? What is this? No wonder the flight plan looks all bizarre. Why do we have EDDF in twice? What the hell is that all about? Okay. What I don't know is how to remove that entry. Now that's got me confused now. Anything to see out here? Not really. Good. Yeah, we are all good. Guys, I'm getting... It's using the airport as a waypoint. Is that normal? EDDF, that's Frankfurt, and then we have to do this runaround. And again, this freaks me out, because it appears on every flight plan. And then we've got runway 25L. So again, now it begs the question, when do I start descending? Am I literally going to fly over the airport at 23,000 feet, only to come all the way down? Doesn't seem quite right. I think once I pass Ramob, I'm going to start my descent to 5,000. It's the only thing I can think of. It's so strange, and I don't know yet how to pick something like this and then just remove it from the flight plan. Just delete it. I don't know how to do that. Let's go back. Let's return, sorry. Let's go back and have a look. Don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm trying to make the best of an educational guess. If I go to the one before it, Ramob, I was expecting maybe to see EDDF there. I don't really know, to be honest. Let's have a look on the flight plan anyway and see what it looks like, because it did look very strange at what's going on here. So there's Ramob. Where's it at now? Is it the point that it shows on here is what? Is it the one at the top of the list? Let's see if we can zoom this. bit. Yeah, it is. It's the one at the top. Okay, so Pesov. And then we have Tutov right there. And then we have Ramov. And then we have the airport, which we fly over. Then we go to Karax. So we're literally going to fly on the airport and then we're going to just detour around it. At this point, decel, isn't that when I start descending? From 23 down to 5. It's only going to give me 39 nautical miles to do that in. Yeah, I might try and do that before we actually get there. This is a very strange approach. So Karax looks strange to me. I've never seen an airport being used as a waypoint, but maybe you can leave a comment and let me know if that does happen, if it's a thing. And then into Char. And then we got 258 FR, and then we got this strange USR thing, and then Ledkey, and then from Ledkey it's straight onto the runway, which I'm hoping is in this direction. It should be 20 degrees up from, shouldn't it be runway 250? Runway 25 is at 250, which is 20 degrees below 270, which is west. So then the runway approach should be 20 degrees above east, right? That'd be 70. So this should be coming in at 70, a heading of 70, right? To land on the runway. I don't know. I actually don't know if it's going to do it. The other thing we can do as well is put constraints on so we can see actual altitudes and maximums and stuff like that. Let's go into nav. Yeah, okay. And then of course when we get to the approach, we're going to switch to LS mode, which, if you remember from my Piper Arrow flights when we're going VOR, on the dial we have a yellow line and a yellow line, and then one in the middle which is going right and left to line up with these two top and bottom ones, right? And I'll come to this in a minute. And then this is what the LS does. If it picks up the localizer, then it'll attempt to line up a purple line here in the middle, just to line everything up, ready for landing. Right, so it says here ice not detected. So that means now we can turn off the anti-ice on the engines and the wing. And I'm going to leave the probe heat on, but now the engines can go back to normal. If it does detect ice again afterwards, then it'll surely tell us. ILS there. Let's take that off. That is a whacked out flight plan, if you ask me. It would have been nice if the plane took care of its own altitudes based on this, you know. Yeah, I don't know. I just find it a bit weird that it looks like an airport's being used as an actual waypoint, that you actually fly over it. And according to this, at 23,000 feet, and then you start descending. It's just, I can't buy into that. To fly over the airport at such an altitude, and then to start descending to land at that exact airport. It's just weird to me. But anyway, it is what it is. So this is the TAT or RAT, I think, is the temperature that the airplane's skin is feeling, which is the basically the outside air temperature. Then you have SAT, which is static air temperature, which says here the temperature of undisturbed air. In other words, it's the temperature of the air around the aircraft unaffected by the movement of the aircraft through the air. Think of it pretty much as the same thing as outside air temperature. Yeah, but there's quite a difference here. What I don't know is ISA yet. Trying to look that up. International Standard Atmosphere. Okay. Well, we did get out of the cloud. Have we left all the bad weather behind? It would seem so. And it's daytime. Right, guys. Okay, so there's a few more waypoints to cover. I will pause the video here, and then we'll be back as things get more strange. So I'll see you in a little while. Alright guys, we're back. So I have just been speaking to some knowledgeable folks on the Flight Sim Discord, Microsoft Flight Sim Discord, and asked them about why the airport was being used as a waypoint, and it seems that it was some kind of bug, some kind of error. So what I've done is I've cleared it off here. I just clicked I clicked clear until it said clear there, and then I clicked on the EDDF and then just clicked insert, and now that's removed it from the flight plan, and it's also made the actual arrival look a little bit better. It's still a little bit weird, but then again, to me, arrivals still look weird. They have you dotted around going all over the place, but as you can see now from Kerax, we're just going, it's not too bad actually. We're going to Kerax, we come down to Char, we make a right turn, and then as we make this left, we're going to start approaching the runway. So yeah, this whole idea of hitting the runway first is weird. And also, when I hit decel, that's when I'm going to start reducing down to 4,000. So I have 39 and 11, so I've got 50 nautical miles to get down from 23,000 feet to 4,000. So once we hit decel, that's when I'm going to do it. So we have 18 plus 20 plus 76 plus 29 nautical miles before we get there. Well, let's take a look outside. Yeah, as you can see, that would make a nice screenshot. Get my cursor out of the way. Let's take another one. Do we do another one? Do we do another one? Let's take another screenshot. Come on, bounce up. I want it near the sun. So yeah, we're flying into cloud. The sun is setting. This is why I'm really hoping that the flight goes according to plan, because I kind of need it to. Yeah, I'm going to need it to. Simply because if it's dark, I want the landing to, you know, just work correctly. So I'm going to have another request of the weather while I'm here, because I want to see if it's changed since the last time. So I'm going to do a weather request, and I only really want it for Frankfurt airport really. This is showing departure, arrival and alternate. I only really want the meta for the one, but we'll get all three. We don't have to print it out. I just want the pressure. Really, I want to see if the pressure's changed. I don't know if that is a changeable thing. I'm assuming it must be. But when I asked for it last time, it was 1018. Company messages in. Outer tank fuel transferred. Okay, I haven't seen that one before. Apparently we're turning. Not that you can tell. Are we moving? Yeah. Okay. Right, where was I? Well, let's go to receive messages. This is the top one. 1018. That's exactly the same as last time. Winds are at 154 knots, variable between 120 and 200. 9999. That's visibility. I'm not buying that at all, because there certainly wasn't 10,000 feet of visibility when we took off, I'm pretty sure. Few clouds. Don't know about that. Not saying it isn't, but yeah. Not saying it isn't. Well, I suppose we could print this out just to get a, an up-to-date one, but it looks like it might just be all the same, really. Well, actually that says scattered clouds at 3.8. That says scattered clouds at 3.2, but that's at the airport that we left. Oh, that'll go there. And you can look back on the previous paper just by clicking previous page, and you've got next page over here somewhere. Oh, yeah. So far, so good. We're approaching Ramob now. Still at flight level 23. Flight level 230. So outer tank fuel transferred, eh? Let's take a look at the fuel situation. I don't want to be running out. I mean, I could pop some more in if we're going to get empty, but apparently we do have enough to land, and somewhere it tells us on the MCDU, I think, about the fuel, how much will remain in terms of weight and flight time after we land, if we land normal at Frankfurt, how much fuel should be in the tank. So it's using fuel from the outer now. We still have plenty on the inner part of the wings, but you can see the arrows pointing in. It's transferring fuel from the outer tanks. Okay, never seen that before, but it's cool. As long as it gets us there, I'm good. I'm very good. Yeah, I was kind of sure. Let's see. This is the approach. Yeah, I just think somewhere there is. I'm sure I've seen it, where you can. It shows you all about the fuel and how much would be remaining afterwards. Oh, here, there, extra. It doesn't fill it in. I think it would fill it in if you filled in. I mean, we've got the fuel on board. I don't know what 2.6 is indicating, but yeah. And then it normally fills in this extra and this time, which tells you how much extra fuel you'll have when you land and how much flight time you would have, which is good to know, because if you can't land at your destination, I suppose this tells you how, what you've got left to get to your alternative, right? I think, I don't know, but this doesn't fill in automatically, so I don't know how to do that, but okay, so we have hit Ramob and we're going to Karax now. We have 70 nautical miles to do on that. and it is getting considerably darker outside. So I'm happy with all of this. Just before we come into land, I want to put the landing lights on. Taxi lights after we land, I think. Yeah. We've not picked up any more ice that I'm aware of. So let's come off the fuel here and it will go back to its normal cruise. What was that? I don't like beeps. Oh, there we go. Ice detected, just as I said, just as I mentioned it. So, engines to ignition, and let's start the de-ice. Well, engines. And we'll do the wings as well. Don't want any hassle on the wings. We've got a little bit of turbulence. It's a little bit of, just a tiny bit. Plane's bouncing around just a little. I don't actually know where I am on the map. I'm just trying to see if little nav map knows where I am. It's not showing my plane for some reason. It's showing a plane. Is that me? The yellow one. Let's have a look. Yeah, it is Rusty. We're flying very close to Frankfurt right now. We've got Frankfurt on our right hand side. We're not going to be able to see that, I'm sure. But Frankfurt right now is down there. This is getting scary for me. No visibility. It's dark. No! It's flying over to the Karax waypoint, but it looks as if we're coming in from a completely different approach than what our little nav map had planned for us, which is fine. Yeah, it is, it's fine. So we're just flying over the outskirts of Frankfurt to the northwest. And yes, we are still 23,000 feet up. It's when we start our approach that's going to be the fun bit. So top of descent is... we start reducing when we get to... have a look. I'm just looking at the waypoints here for little nav map. I know you can't see, but I'm trying to work out. According to little nav map, we start descending before char. So that's going to be, yeah, that's right, decel. We start bringing it down from our altitude down to... We want to be at 4,000 by the time we get to 258 FR, pardon me. The plane's disappearing off the thing here. Let's switch to Mark. Yeah, so see, we've got char there. Oh, this is a different route than little nav map. Karax is there, and then this is weird. Karax 1714, char 1719. There. And we have decel. Why does that say 1736? Why is that more in the future? I believe this circle here is our descent. Top of descent, and that's when we start descending. But I can't believe that we're going to get from 23,000 down to 4,000. Well, maybe though, because we've got we've got all that distance there and across to get down. So I think when we hit here, this purple circle, that's when we start descending. That is my belief, and so that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave the plane to descend at that point and hope it's going to descend quick enough. Yeah. Well, it got dark really quickly, didn't it? Yeah. Yep. Make it easy on yourself, Rusty. Have a nice cloudless day and learn how to bring the plane down properly. But no, I do a night one with no vision and no visibility. Brilliant. Absolute genius. And I believe once we start descending, then we can switch the barometer back to the pressure that we're told on there, which is 1018, Q1018. So we can do that. And just so it knows, this won't affect the plane, but just so it knows, 1018 translates to 30.06. So we can program that up here as 30.06, or we can go to, is it hectopascals, and then program it as 1018. It doesn't matter. We're going to be making a sharp turn, so handbrake on and round the corner. That'll be fun. Oh yeah. Oh man, this is dark. There's nothing to look at but the instruments. It's making the turn already. Yeah, because it knows how sharp it's going to be. It has to make this turn. And so once we hit that purple circle, as I said, we're going to start bringing it down to 4,000. And then we'll switch over the barometric reading. Right now we're just on standard. And we're on standard because this is what everybody else will be using, and it avoids collisions. Wow, it's made a real weird turn there, hasn't it? Is it going to just go over and hook onto that other green line now? I've got the terrain on just in case we, once we start getting lower, once we start descending, if there's any terrain, we'll be able to see our proximity to it. So it's a simple case of starting our descent here, 23,000, and by the time we get to 258 FR here, we should be at 4,000. There it is. But then it says, minus 5,000. So we have to be under 5,000 by the time we get there. It's not going to do it. It's not going to do it. We're not going to go from 23,000 to under 5 in that short range, are we? So what's going on there? Why is it expecting so much of us? I feel like I want to start descending at least a little bit to give myself a chance. Maybe come down to something like 15,000 or something. I am going to do that, guys. It's off the book, but I'm going to do it. So I'm going to come down to 15. Let the plane manage that. Also, I'm going to have to manage the speeds as well, aren't I? As we're coming in, slow the plane down to around 200 on approach, and then down to 150 or something where we land. Although if we capture the glide slope, doesn't the plane take care of all of that anyway? I hope we are going to catch the glide slope. That'll be an interesting thing. totally and utterly reliant on the computers here. If all the computers went out and we just had this to rely on, I wonder how we would manage. Is that 5,000 or 9,000? If it's 9, yeah, I don't know. Looks like a 5 to me. See, there's the runway. I'm going to turn on ILS. I just want to see if anything's going to get picked up. It's got the frequency, so we're looking for purple stuff. We're too high up at the moment. It's got it. I'll be damned. And look, it's got it, yeah, 26 nautical miles. How about that? I'm not going to switch on the localizer or anything yet. But it looks to me like we definitely are going to have to start swinging this down to 5,000 already. In fact, let's bring it down to 4. So that we are ready, being ready. These flashy dials are not helping. We're really going to have to descend here. I wonder if we should slow the plane down a little bit. But yeah, we definitely have the localizer. So like I say, once we get the diamond in the middle here, you can switch to localizer mode. But it's good that it's picked it up. It's probably picked it up because we're flying near the airport anyway, because it's right there. We're going to have to descend quicker than this. Come on. This tells us where the localizer is, to the right and down. Which is over here. Yeah, so it's kind of right, it's correct. So now it's making the turn. We need to be 5,000 there, and we're not. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I don't want to look. I don't want to look. If I press the localizer, if this diamond comes on there and I press localizer, will it stay on the flight plan? Flight path? Yeah. I don't know how much time we've got to make this turn. And I seriously think we need to be slowing this plane down. Why is it I always go the wrong bloody way? And then our next drop, does it tell us? No. No. So I either have to do it manually or we'll have the plane do it when it picks up the hopefully picks up the glide slope. ice detected, we can turn that off. And also push the engine back to normal. Okay, so the height is doing okay. As we've got the glide slope coming up there, we can maybe hit approach now. Okay, approach mode is on. Second autopilot is on. Cat 3 dual. Glide slope, localizer. Gears down. Flaps 1 is engaged. Oh, that's too much. Yeah, we need to slow down big time. So, this is where the panic is. I'll take 199 and I'm going to engage some speed brakes. See if we can get ourselves slowed down in time. Wow, look at that horizon. Now we can switch to LS mode. Got it. That's okay. Got the speed brakes on maximum here. Shouldn't have to be doing any of this. Why isn't this plane slowing down even more?
100 above. Minimum.
Going too fast.
2,500.
Going too fast, guys. I really don't know why it is overspeeding. I know. Just have to bring this thing in, so shush. Have it manage the speed now, which is that purple. That's this. The purple is the speed it has to be at when it lands. Not quite sure why the wheels are up. I'm sure I put them down. That would have helped us scrub off some speed. And now we can go to the ground spoilers, and we want the brakes on that. Cabin check.
1,000. Flight attendants, please prepare for landing.
Seatbelts on. That was a bit late, a bit of a late call. We are good on the runway so far in height. Speed is good, 130, perfect. That says landing inhibit, okay. Whatever that means. Welcome to Frankfurt bloody airport. Auto landing. Cat 3 single, I think, also can get the plane down. I'm not too sure, but you can see it lined up beautifully. 2 reds, 2 whites, could not be better. Oh yeah. I should have had the replay on, shouldn't I?
Retard. Retard. Retard.
Yeah, it's a bit stuttery because I'm recording.
Frankfurt ground, Rusty Romeo 66 taxi to the gate.
Rusty Romeo 66 taxi to gate Bravo 44 via taxiway Mike 17 Mike 24 cross runway 07 center Lima 11.
Oh, hurry up.
November tree.
Taxiing to gate Bravo 44 using taxiway Mike 17 Mike 24 cross runway 07 center Lima 11 Lima November 5 November tree Rusty Romeo 66.
Position caution other traffic.
That's the autopilot disengaging, I think.
717 continue taxi.
I lost control a little bit there. Do we have all the lights on? No. So I'm going to stop the plane.
Roger Lufthansa 717.
And to be fair, I did have plenty of time to engage these lights. I did have a lot on my mind, obviously. But yeah, I should have engaged those. I did have time to do it. Instead of admiring the scenery. But it's on now.
111 flight hold position caution other traffic.
And then I'll run the replay and see if it works. Because I managed to... That's why the frame rate just sank at the end, because I was just running a replay of the landing so we could see it from outside. But I don't know how it works. I think I can maybe position the drone on the runway and then just hit the replay and see what happens. But I think what I'll do is I'll start the replay, then pause it, and then I'll bring the drone onto the runway. But the drone has to be independent of the plane. It can't be moving with the plane, and it normally does, so... Unless there's some external views from the tower, I don't know. Yeah. We'll play it by ear and see what happens. But before we do any of that, we need to get these passengers off. I've got no throttle on at all, it's completely at idle. And it's still pushing forward quite well. Yeah, frame rates do seem to be a little bit lower. But I think Microsoft Flight Sim does suffer from this quite a bit as well, that the longer the flight, the more the frame rate just starts to tank. And I think it doesn't maybe happen to everybody, but a lot of people do get it. And according to Little Navmap, there are an absolute shed load of planes here. There's tons of them. There's got to be over 100 planes looking at Little Navmap. It's quite jerky. unlucky at the moment, but we'll just make the best of it. So we can bring the flaps in and we can disengage the ground spoilers. We can take off the seatbelt signs. Don't know where our gate is, but we'll just follow the taxiway. Thankfully I've got arrows and I don't have to listen to via XX1 by 3 through via 36 via Charlie.
Hold position, caution other traffic.
How are you supposed to remember all of that?
Hold position Lufthansa 717. Lufthansa 717, continue taxi. Roger, Lufthansa 717.
This is going to be a tight turn then. Need the pushback guy to become a push forward guy. I wouldn't stand there, mate. The engine on the wing's going to knock your head off. Done. Extinguish the no smoking. Unlock the cabin door, cockpit door, sorry. And that's not what I wanted.
Frankfurt ground, Blue Air 187, request taxi to the gate. Blue Air 187, taxi to gate Charlie 14 using taxiway Mike 11 Mike 14 cross runway 25 Center Lima 7 November 4 November.
Oh, I only pressed it once this time.
Taxiing to gate Charlie 14 using taxiway Mike 11 Mike 14 cross runway 25 Center Lima 7 November 4 November Blue Air 187.
So there is an option to engage the front door, to open it up. So let's put the APU on. Flap says open. Don't know if we need the bleed, but we'll turn off the engines now. That's not quite right, I don't think. Yep, it's fine. It's fine. Oh, actually not fine. I should have had the bleed on. I did say though, didn't I? I did say. Yeah, we'll just stick to external power. Right, shutting off fuel pumps. Turning off gears, I think. I think that's what I'm doing. Yep, AD is done. Oxygen supply for the crew off. Don't worry, they won't suffocate. Engines are off, so it can come off for that. Now don't scroll away just because I haven't absolutely nailed where the position is on the switch to the absolute pixel. this. It's pathetic. Because you can use the mouse wheel to position these switches, but it seems that when you do, it just wants to scroll up and down. Not what I want. And it seems that the window of opportunity to flick these switches are so small sometimes. You know, the windows are so small. So I think that's everything turned off up here. Okay, so let's look at the pedestal now. Engines are off. TCAS. Gotta switch that off. I can't find these damn switches in the dark. It's that one and that one. I know there's one up here you're supposed to put on, but I didn't. But I don't have to worry about that. Parking brake is set. Wind shear, wind shear. Wind shear, predictive wind shear. That can come off. Engines are off. Ground spoilers are off. Flaps are retracted. Oh, you can discard the paper. How about that? Where was that option? Okay, scrap that. I think we're all good. Light directors off. And what we can really do is start turning these lights down, really. For a proper shut off, of course. Yeah. Well, that's what I'll be doing, just turning off all the lights and then finally just powering off. Fine. So that's been it, guys. I hope you have enjoyed. Oh, we don't really need the power guy anymore. Let's just get rid of him and then we'll end it. Letting the rest of the crew get off. Alright guys, so I hope you enjoyed the flight. It went okay and it was a little bit over speedy at the end, but I think that's just down to the approach. I didn't get a lot of time to descend, and of course when you're descending you're picking up speed. And it would be nice if the MCDU, you know, had flight levels. It does have flight levels for every point, but they just don't seem to be quite right somehow. With these unrealistic expectations of getting from, you know, 23,000 feet down to 4,000 within a very short amount of distance. And it just seems, yeah, like not quite right. So I'd like that to be fixed. What light have I left on here? Sure that maybe that is not. Is that it? There you go. Yeah, so apart from that, and actually I'm not going to end the stream, am I? Let's call this an end. So that's it. That's the flight. Thank you very much for joining us on board. And now let's see if things go nuts as I hit the record replay button. Okay. This was our landing. Not that you can see much. See, I didn't put the lights on like an idiot. And you can't hear the engine because I turned it off. I turned it off at the gates. So for some reason it doesn't seem to keep it on here, which is bizarre. So if we stop the replay and replay it again.
50, 40,
Don't sink.
Weird, isn't it?
Sink.
10, 5,
Okay, let's do something really... Whoa, sir. Oh, that's because I hit stop replay. Okay. Understand. Can we have the middle, please? Thank you. Now, I don't know whether it's going to just do this or not.
50, 40,
See, the gear was out ages before that. That's what it would have looked like in the daytime. Yeah, flight recorder. Anyway, that's a bit of fun. Okay, that's it then. Thank you for joining me, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one. Till then, no.